And now we're joined by Dave Trevina from the DuPage County Office of Homeland Security and Emergency Management with safety tips for our four-legged family members. Welcome back.
Thanks for having me.
It's nice for you to include everybody in the family.
Absolutely.
Even my weird cousin with four legs. You know. No, that's interesting. We never really talked about the pets, and we have briefly, but nothing more specific than open the door and hope they get out. I mean, what do you do?
In an emergency.
Yeah, you want to make sure you have a plan in place for your entire family, including your pets. And pets more and more have become a part of our families. And
yes.
So you want to make sure that if something happens and maybe you have to evacuate your home and there's a friend or a neighbor you can stay with, but they say, you know what, you can stay here, but your dog or your cat, I can't have them here because the kids have allergies or whatever. So you want to make sure you have a plan in place, either a vet you can take them to or a shelter or another friend who could watch them. One of the things to keep in mind is a lot of the kennels and boarding facilities are going to require that you show proof that your pet's been vaccinated. So you want to make sure you have those vaccinations up to date and you have those records in a safe place so you can bring them with you. We see every time we open a shelter, such as during the floods of April of 2013, people show up with their pets. Well, pets typically aren't allowed in shelters, so we really need to make sure that people have plans in place so that they can take their pets somewhere to be safe until they're able to return home.
What would be a good plan? What would you do?
Well, one thing to do would be to identify friends or family members who might be able to shelter your pets while you're away from home. And even to be able to check on them. I think we talked a while back about how I was in Springfield for a meeting one day and away from my pet, and I was planning on coming back that night, but my vehicle broke down and I was stranded, and luckily I had a friend who had access to my home, and she could go in and check on my pet and make sure he had food and water and that kind of stuff. So just thinking about it in advance, well, what would I do if I'm out for the day and I can't get home to check on my pet, or if there's another flood, or if there's a fire or something like that and I have to leave my house? Where would I take my pet so that it can be safe while we're working on getting back home?
Well, that really is an important point, because you're so worried about getting your family members out, and I could see where it could. What do I do with the dog now?
Right.
Where am I going to? And that would be the wrong time to try to find out.
Exactly. We saw back during Hurricane Katrina where so many people did not evacuate their homes because they knew their pets wouldn't be accepted into the shelter, and they didn't want to leave them behind.
Well, it's interesting to know, and I asked you before, I wasn't kidding, about birds. Something like that, do you just grab the cage, I guess, and run out with it? But
that's not a problem, even in somebody else's home, a bird, because it's contained. It doesn't bother anyone.
But going back into the house to save your pet, that's something that I would think a lot of people aren't sure about doing. Once they get out, they should just really stay out.
Exactly. Once you're out, you should really stay out. And it underscores the importance, too, of having, your pet carrier or your dog leash in the same place all the time. So when you're leaving your house in a hurry, you know where it is. You don't have to think, oh, where did I set it down this time? It's right there. So if you're able to, you can grab it and get out. But certainly once you're out, you need to stay out. We're very fortunate here in Addison and really throughout DuPage County that our fire departments are able to respond and very quickly.
Yes.
And so hopefully they'll get there in time and they can check not only on the people but also on any pets that may still be inside.
Well, you also, I guess the pets, sometimes they might get scared and actually run out of the house and disappear.
And then you lose them. You're looking for them.
So now you're looking for them.
And that underscores the importance of having your pets microchipped. For dogs and cats, it's around, I think, $15 or so with the DuPage County Animal Care and Control, but your local vet can do it as well. And it's just a chip. It's kind of injected, and that way when pets are recovered, all veterinarians and all animal shelters use these scanners. They can scan the animal and see to whom it belongs. So that was another huge issue we've seen.
That would save a lot of time and grief, wouldn't it?
Exactly. Like I said, it's very low cost, it's easy to do, and it'll make a world of difference if you need it.
Wow. Just a little bit offshoot here. You have a disaster and your house is either from fire or storm or whatever. What procedures do you go through to try to get maybe back into your house or looking for things? Do you ask a fireman, can you get back in? Or what do you do?
Yeah, you definitely want to check with the fire department or the building inspector and make sure your home is safe to go back inside. Unfortunately, we do see sometimes structure fires where so much damage is done that it's not safe to go back in to retrieve your belongings. So you certainly never want to take it upon yourself. Absolutely, yeah. You definitely want to ask before just going back inside on your own.
Yeah, I can imagine that some people would just, where's my pictures or where's some
I want to get my
valuables
favorite statue or something, yeah.
Yeah, and they just try to go in and look for it, but they really shouldn't do that.
Right.
Dave, thank you. Anybody they can call for more information?
Sure. If people go on our website, which is protectdupage.org, they'll see all sorts of helpful tips from DuPage County Animal Care and Control, as well as our office. Again, that website is protectdupage.org with great resources to keep yourself and your pets safe.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you very much.
Pay heed.